Let's shop my shelves. Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Now for today's video, I'm doing a video that was actually inspired by Bree from In Love and Words, and I just thought it was going to be so fun to just kind of go through all the books that are on the floor right now and decide which are the books that deserve a place in my room and which are the books that needs to get the heck out right now. Right now it is 9 in the morning, so that's the perfect time to really start a big project like this one today. And it's also a holiday here in Canada and also a holiday in the United States, so I have the day off, so I'm really excited to just do chores on my 3-day weekend. I also wanted to show off the fact that I am wearing a new Hello Lovely t-shirt. It is Bridgerton inspired, and you get 15% off if you decide to use my code Lisa15 on the website. I'll leave the links down below. And yes, let's not ignore the elephant in the room. I did manage to chop off all my hair, which I do like because it is very lightweight now. But let's get started with all the books next to me. A little thing about the first column here is that these books are books that are usually given to me by publishers. I like to sort it by the same stack so that I remember that I have to owe them a review or that I have to owe them a feature on my channel or on my Instagram page. But somewhere along the way, most of these books turned into books that I also bought too as well. So they're all mixed together. But the ideal goal is to always keep a stack that are just all books from publishers. So if I were to be really honest, I would tell you guys that my shelves right now are covered in things that are not supposed to be books. I basically use my stack of books as another side table. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to clear out things that are not books on my stack of books. So this is what we're working with here. We have a lot of ARCs and new releases that I like to put right way up in front so that I can see it and then I can remember that I need to read it. But definitely there are a lot of books behind these towers that don't belong in my room because I no longer have a very strong interest in reading them right away. So let's go through the first tower first and let's see which books will make the cut. Okay, so what I did next was that I actually broke them up into different piles so that I know which are the books that need to leave my room right away. So for example, the first stack of books here is Christmas books. I'm no longer going to be reading Christmas books any time of the year, so it's just going to be in a different pile outside my room. This is a book that I forget if I read or not, but it will not be in my room anymore. And then we have some books that were given to me by publishers that I've heard kind of bad things about, so I don't think that I will be reviewing them anytime soon, so they don't deserve a spot in my room. Then we have a stack of books that I either bought or were given to me by publishers, but I no longer have a desire to read them right now. This is the stack of books that I bought myself that I still need to read. And usually with books that I buy myself, I have to put them at top priority because I did spend my money on them. So here are just a couple of the books that are on top of my radar. These are all romance novels. And then these are the ARCs that I have to review for publishers. So publishers send me these books and then I have to feature them on my Instagram page, and I still have interest in them even though they're past their publication date. I still want to put these on top of my priority list so that I can read them because they do interest me a lot. Okay, so next we're going to move on to the second tower, and this tower is usually filled with a lot of the books that I have purchased myself, and they are new releases, also mixed with some older releases that I managed to pick up off Book Outlet. I definitely want to separate the ones that are top priority and the ones that are just kind of like fallen to the wayside, and then just keep them pretty, I guess. And just to take a closer look, this is the tower that I'm dealing with, and these are the titles. I see some ARCs in here already that I need to take them out. So let's quickly go through the titles that I bought myself and that deserve a place in my room. So the first book is actually this one, but then we have this one, Actually, this one was given to me by a publisher, but I'll just put it there too as well. And we're almost there. I have The Invisible Life of Addie Larue by V.E. Schwab too as well. I don't know why I bought it. I do know why I bought it. I bought it because it's a very beautiful book, but I know that I won't read it, or it's not going to be the top of my priority, since I did hear a lot of things about it that people didn't like, and then I just think that it's going to not be my favorite book that I'm going to read. So I think I'm going to put this book outside with all my other fantasy novels that I tend to buy but sometimes read. And then I also have this arc of this book that I think it's interesting, but I don't think that it is my cup of tea right now. Authors and publishers tend to also gift me books as well. I got this book. It's my C-pop star from an author. It's pretty thin, so I think I'm just going to keep it in my room just so I remember that I can read it. And then I have this book. I think I read this already, so this one goes outside. I wanted to keep this book in my room because I heard great reviews of this one, but then at the same time, it's been in my room for like probably 3 years now, and I haven't picked it up ever, so it's gonna have to go somewhere, but not in my room. I got some couple of books from a publisher or a publicity firm, and while they do look really cute, I've never really gravitated towards it, and I don't really know too much about these books, so they go outside my room. Plus, they're really heavy, and I'm always very cautious of how heavy my room is because I don't want my floors to break through. And then we have some indie authors that sent me books, and I'm going to keep them in my room because I love these indie authors. They're great. And then I just have an arc here of a alien book that I really wanted to read, but I just put it off. It's staying in my room. All right, so moving on to our third column here. These are all books that are just a mismatch of different genres, and there's self-help books here. There's just random UK books that I picked up along the way. There's even some thrillers, adult fiction. I don't even know what to call it, so I have to clean this up because when I look at it, it does not bring me joy. So this is just a closer look of the books that I was just talking about in this column. Yeah, lots of different genres in this one. Okay, so just going through the books that I purchased myself that I still need to read include these ones. Honestly, some of these I'm like, do I want to read them now? I don't know, but they are pretty covers and I just want to keep them. I really like this series. I don't know why I haven't read it yet. This one I'm like iffy about because it has really low ratings. This one just sounds super cute. Someone warned me on Instagram that this book was a huge mess, and I'm kind of really sad because I started it and I actually really liked it. I like Laura Jane Williams. So these books are actually UK books that I purchased because I like UK humor. And then these two are just kind of like women's fiction. It deals with older women dealing with babies in their career, and I always love books like that too as well. I also have a couple of self-help books that I put on the top of my shelf because a girl was looking for some self-help, I guess. And then this is just a pile of books that are mostly hardcovers, adult fiction that I bought because I had interest in, but right now they don't deserve a place in my room. Yes, I read nonfiction too as well, especially when it deals with Canada. And some of these books I also read already too, but I never separated them. I don't know if you can see it, but now we're in the second layer of towers. There's actually 3 towers on the floor beside me, and already I see a lot of books that don't deserve to be in my room, so this should be really interesting, guys. So taking a closer look of what's inside, I already see a bunch of titles that do not belong in my room. There are YA mixed with romance contemporary, mixed with middle grade novels, mixed with thrillers. It's getting a little bit hard to navigate these piles now because I don't have that much room on the floor, but I have some books that I don't want to include in my room anymore. I have some YA books that I purchased myself or I got from a publisher that I want to read. And then I have some romance novels that still pique my interest down here. And then I have a bunch of these books that I bought off Book Outlet one day because I don't know what I was going through. But I bought like a lot of UK romances from Book Outlet. And, well, this isn't from Book Outlet, but now I don't know what to do with them because, while I want to read them, they don't deserve to be in my room. And if they don't deserve to be in my room, will I ever read them? And then I have some indie romances that I picked up myself that I want to put it in my room because I want to still read them. These are Jane Austen retellings that I really like. They're clean romances. I normally don't read them, but for some reason I like them. Here are more books sent to me from the publisher that I want to read. These two books are indie romances that I purchased myself. This is sent from me from the publisher, sent by the author, and I purchased myself, but it was historical romance. I have this beautiful book, and it's the complete books of Jane Austen. Very pretty, but does it need to be in my room? Okay, so moving into the second inner tower, this is filled with a lot of more indie romances, and I can see there are a lot of YA books sent to me from publishers too as well. So let's see if they deserve to be in my room. Honestly, this video, do they deserve to be in my room? Most of the time, no. Okay, so I guess going through the books that are indie romances that I purchased myself that definitely needs to be in my room because I heard really great things about it are those ones. And then I have this weird ARC copy of a time travel historical romance that I want to read. And then I also have some indie romances here, some summer indie romances, some fun romantic comedy indie romances, and lighthearted women's fiction. And also E.L. James Freed. I was like so excited to read this book until I heard everybody trash this book. So this does not deserve to be in my room, even though I never read it. And then here are some YA books and a women's fiction novel that I have read already, so they don't deserve to be in my room. I heard so many good things about this YA fantasy novel. Usually I would not put it in my room, but I heard really great things, so I'll keep it in my room to remember that I have to read it. This one is just a really gorgeous book. I don't know if I'm going to read it because I don't like reading YA fantasy. Here are a couple of romances that I picked off from Book Outlet that I have an interest in reading, but they don't deserve a place in my room right now because they're not on the top of my priority list, such as these ones from Meg Cabot as well too. It's been a long time since I've read a YA book, but I really want to read this thriller called I Killed Zoe Spanos. It sounds so interesting. And then I love Sania Manon, so she deserves a place in my room. I've heard really great things about this one. Today, Tonight, Tomorrow by Rachel Lynn Solomon. So I'm excited to read it. And then this one, haven't heard much, so this one doesn't deserve to be in my room. Moving on to the third column here. This is just like a mishmash of like literally mass paperback novels, some books gifted to me from publicity teams, and just like random genres that I need to clean up right away. Running out of room on my lap, but here are the books that I've started, I got from publishers and publicity teams that no longer are sparking my interest and that don't deserve a place in my room. Two books that still spark my interest that deserve a place in my room. A Christmas novel that shouldn't be in my room. Some ARCs that I got that I don't really have an interest in reading them right now. Some middle grade novels that I still want to read, but they deserve to be on a different shelf. Two self-help books that should be in a different area. Thriller novels that I already read, so they do not deserve to be in my room. Some sports romances that I actually really want to read sometime soon. Books that I bought as a joke, but the whole series is in my room, so they deserve to be in my room. I have some fiction novels that I'm really interested in reading. This one is something that is very interesting. This one is like, a little bit. This one I think sounds cute. This one just sounds kind of funny. I love this author, so I want to read her book. And then this one, I am kind of 30% into the book. I enjoyed it, but it's taking me a long time to finish it. We did it, guys. We did it. Now we're into our last two towers in the back here. I'm pretty excited to get through them. This shall be easy. This includes all the books that are YA fiction novels, books that authors gave to me, and I already see a bunch of books that don't belong here. Okay, so starting off with books that don't deserve to be in my room includes these ones. Like, I bought these from a long time ago on Book Outlet, and I don't really remember too much about it to make me want to go, let's put in my room. Here are some book outlet books that I did buy that I want to keep in my room because they sound interesting and they sound like I can actually read them very soon. Here are some books that were sent to me from publishers that I don't really have interest in. We are running out of room again. So here are all the thriller novels that I like to keep outside of my room, but they just somehow made my way into my room. This one is very sad because I bought a thrifted copy for this book and I didn't realize I actually had a finished copy of it. A clean one too as well. These are books sent to me from publishers or from authors that I have no longer interest in reading. These are adult fiction novels that I do have an interest in reading, but they're gonna be in like the bottom of my tower. But this one I actually really wanted to read. This one is about a mom who hates her family. Sounds like me. This is just all the romances that I don't have an interest in reading anymore. I do have a lot of YA novels I still want to read that spark my interest. Here are the ones. They're so beautiful. They're so pretty. Enemies to lovers. Fantasy. Dystopian. Jen Bennett. Love her. Heard many good things about this series. We also have the Raven Boys that everybody loves so much. I have a movie edition cover of All the Bright Places I love. I have this YA fantasy novel, The Toll. I have this one that blew up on TikTok like 5 times now. So I just wanted to show you how my floors look like after tearing down all the towers and organizing all of them. So this is how all the towers look like after I showed you guys what happened. So the next goal for me is obviously to put the towers back and organizing it the way that it is aesthetically pleasing and also functional as well, because if it's not functional, then what's the point of me doing all this? So I just want to give you guys an update of what I have so far. We have some romances in the back. I've built some YA towers in the back too as well. Some books I still want to read but keep it in the back because it's not top of my priority. Titles that I want to read that I'm keeping in the front so I can remind myself. New books that I purchased recently, new releases. The spines are so pretty. I love the like pastels. And then now I'm working on more books, but yeah. Okay, so it's been a couple of hours, but I'm back and I'm here to show you guys the finished result. Honestly, they are a lot shorter. I don't know if you guys can tell the difference of how short they are now, but I can drastically see a huge difference. I know that when I move those books from the Towers of Shame, which are the books that I have to haul for you guys, there's going to be more room to put into the towers right beside my desk. I'm pretty happy with it, and it's certainly very different, and I'm sure the floors are very happy that I don't have this many books in my room anymore. I moved the books that didn't deserve to be in my room downstairs into the basement for extra storage, and then that's when I'm going to decide what to do with the books. Is either I'm going to sell them or I'm going to donate them to a thrift store nearby. But let's show you. So don't mind the mess because I still have a bunch of knickknacks and things that I have to clear up, but that's basically it. There's like a huge gap there. It's really like focusing on only the books that I really want to read right now, and I have my TBR set for me. So I'm happy. And this is just an overview, top overview of all the books. So we still have around 3 towers in the back, maybe 4. And then it's not that deep anymore. So pretty happy with it. Pretty happy. So I think that's it for this little bookshelf organization. Shop my bookshelves with me. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video and got to see like a little glimpse of the towers that are behind me all the time. I'll see you guys again next time in a new video. Bye!